reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene, vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay By Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop, opposite the Grosile Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Another hurricane season is upon us. Make this year different. Equip yourself with a backup power generator from JH Launchers Electric. We can source and supply any size, anytime to your specifications. But the best part is we stock generators. No more long waiting and delays for your home unit. We proudly stock from 2,000 watts all the way to 26,000 watts gas and diesel generators. Automatic and manual transfer switches are also in stock. Visit JH Launchers Electrics today.
Feel your heart racing?
He can do nothing wrong tonight.
Feel your toes tapping?
That sounded very good.
Feel the energy building?
Writing more chapters in a legendary book.
That's the feeling of the Republic Bank Caribbean Premier League, blasting back to town. And this year, the party is even bigger and even louder.
That's gone for 6. My goodness.
Global superstars, monster sixes, edge of your seat drama, live music at halftime, light shows, and a whole lot more. CPL 2025, the biggest party in sport, just got even bigger.
What a time to be alive!
Get your tickets now at cplt20.com.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM. The man.
Jaquan. I mean, I'm not by myself. Shelton is around. He just needed to step out to sort out something. So you're stuck with me for a little while. Jaquan is with me as usual on the console and getting things ready. Everything seems to be set. And it's a wonderful afternoon. And today is Tuesday, Jaquan. We're going to cricket tonight. We are playing the Guyana Amazon Warriors. So yes, that should be an easy 2 points to the Kings. Yeah, we need cricket, man. We lost one, the rain interrupted one. We need to have a full, our full 20 overs. So at least we can get our 2 points. We'll beat the Guyana Warriors solidly tonight. Okay, so we're back in the boys. Come out, support the guys, have some fun, relax. So it's going to be lovely cricket tonight. So see you there at the Darren Sammy Cricket Ground, not Darren Sammy Stadium. It's a Darren Sammy Cricket Ground, and we'll have a good time. All right. Well, you're stuck with me, as I said, for a little while, and there's a lot to unpack. Beautifully, though, beautifully. I'm trying not to give the others the side too much attention, but sometimes you have to refer. Sometimes you have to refer to them. Unfortunately, I'm trying not to. But let me just say, today I was on Facebook, and Jacquan, I think I came across a piece that resonated with me. It is something I've been seeing for the longest while. Let me see if I have it, Jacquan, to give right. Standards Matter, Jacquan, I think is word 1. By I want to pronounce her name correctly, Raisha Joseph. I've never met her. I've heard of her. I know she's in the media. And she wrote something which resonated with me. I have been saying so for the longest while. And I think, she was able to very concisely, condense the thought. It's very succinct. And I just want to read it. So you can put it up, Jacquan. Because the opposition, unfortunately, we have asked them to raise the standard. We hear them every Sunday in the Sunday funnies. And I don't know if maybe I'm a sucker for punishment. I'm hoping, maybe hoping against hope, that at least I'll be hearing some substance, things to make me think. But Sunday in Soufrière was particularly pathetic, and I'll tell you why. They made this hue and cry. They were in front of the Parliament building demonstrating because they said Richard Frederick does not respect women. And I did say, Marcella, Mrs. Johnson, that I would not tackle you. I made that pledge, but I'm reaching to the point where I may have to throw caution to the wind and go DEFCON 6. Hello. You all made a hue and cry. You all were out there doing all the pappy show in front of Parliament and say the minister doesn't respect women and women, etc. And you all went to Soufrière. And it was so pathetic. The drunken master, this guy, Lotson, Spider, made vile and vulgar remarks towards Jade Brown. No women said anything. Marcella, Mrs. Johnson, you sat there. You said nothing. Laura Japierre, you said nothing. Joycelyn Fletcher, you said nothing. And the rest of you, hypocrites. Leave it there, I'm going to read that in a while. Hypocrites. Then to add insult to injury, well, the Badventist came. And what is said, these words towards Lisa, was even more vile and vulgar. And you women said nothing. Well, I'm telling you, I expect to have some kind of written condemnation of these remarks on the women. Because you have to be consistent. You cannot pick and choose who you demonstrate against. If you are going to make a stand about respecting women, it must be across the board. When your people do it, you must also raise your voice and condemn the statements. And if you do not condemn the statements by Spider and the Badventists, then you ought not to open your mouth on any other issue concerning women. Disrespect to women. You all want to go after Richard. Yes, you all have nothing. But you say, oh, because he said what he said. He posed the question. He's a lawyer. Lawyers pose questions. They are very good at posing questions. He put the question to you. I did not see how that was disrespect. He said, don't sell your soul because, you're getting your medical bills paid. Nobody likes to be sick. But because, somebody is giving you that, you have to go down, sink to the lowest level. But on Sunday at your Friday funnies, the most disparaging remarks were made against Jed Brown and Lisa Joseph. And nothing was said. I understand there was a press conference today and what Papi Show came out. You did not condemn what your people said. So you have no moral authority. Now I'm going to tackle you all on that again, I didn't come here to do that. I'm going to tackle you all. But let's go to Raisha Joseph. Standards matter in any democracy. And a good democracy requires a competent opposition, which St. Lucia sadly does not have. I put the word sadly there. Every allegation that is leveled by the opposition to aim at the government falls short. And I'm going to come back on that. Because the opposition perpetuates the behavior they claim to abhor. Correct. Sunday Funnies in Soufrière was a perfect example. You came there saying that Richard Frederick disrespects women and this and that. And your boy sang to the lowest. And up to now, you have not raised your voice in condemnation. So in future, shut up. You can't go before the parliament and demonstrate and say we touch one and touch all. And you have a Delilah there. Worse yet, trying to frame a government minister. Oh, your people are despicable, man. Scum of the earth. Let's go on. Since the political defeat, there has not been reform. No, you all never took stock, no audit, nothing. But rather rejection and replacement of individuals who question or challenge. You heard the chairman. We're only going to have people who's going to work with Alan. Every time I have heard pronouncements from former government minister Leonard Spider Montoot, it has been either a major Freudian slip, that's the gene speaking, calling his party what he wants to call the SLP, or an insult. And he did it on Sunday again. He gave us one of the most violent, vulgar remarks directed at a woman. But these fellas will come and say, we don't respect women. For example, where Calypsonians were likened to slaves, the homophobia and the pedophilic statements tied to eradicating period poverty. But when you have an imbecile, an ignoramus, who is a know-it-all, who had his papers, anyway, this is not the way. This cannot be the way. Cannot be the way. And sadly, up to now, we have been asking the opposition to date, give us your policies. Tell us what you are going to do for the country. How are you going to move the country forward? How are you going to help the students in the education sector? What are you going to do for the hotels? What are you going to do for the small businesses? What are you going to do for the young people who have skills? Up to now, nada. Nada. All you do is ad hominem attacks. Papi Show. You know what Alva will call Simigwin Twin. Politics. Nothing of substance. And every Sunday, you all sink lower and lower and lower and lower. When I think you could not hit rock bottom, you are proving me right. So I'm going to say again to Mrs. Johnson, I'm still respecting you. I'm trying to hold, not to attack you, because you're my neighbor. I'm trying my best. But you cannot be so inconsistent. You have to have a level of consistency. Remarks were made on your platform, disparaging remarks, vile and vulgar remarks, directed at Jed Brown and Lisa Joseph. And up to now, you have said nothing. You have not yet asked your colleagues to retract, to apologize, to withdraw. But you are there talking in a press conference, a whole set of nonsense. Consistency. You see, right now your credibility is on the line. If you cannot call upon Guy Joseph and Spider to retract and to withdraw and to apologize, you have no business opening your mouth in the future talking about anybody disrespecting women. You can't. Because you have shown your hand. And it's not, I'm trying hard not to go down that road with you. But you cannot be there talking about the weed of truth and you're there for women. You set up a Delilah to try and trap Samson. You know? That's what y'all did. Let's ambush them. That's what y'all are doing. And then you eat soufre, doing exactly as Raisha said, what you abhor. The things you condemn, that's what you're actually doing. And that's what you did in soufre. So I'm expecting, and ladies and gentlemen, you'll have to put pressure on them, call the radio stations and ask them, call upon Mrs. Johnson, call upon Laura, and then to condemn the statements made by Spider and Guy Joseph the Adventist. Because that's exactly what you did. So you can't go in front of Parliament again and say, Richard Frederick. What all Richard Frederick did was to pose the question as a lawyer. And that's what lawyers do. They put the question. And they can put the question very nicely. He never insulted anybody. Never. So don't come with that crap anymore. We're going to hold you accountable. You are inconsistent. And if you are inconsistent, your credibility is on the line. If you cannot call upon your colleagues to withdraw these violent, vulgar statements that they have made, then you have no moral authority to speak on anything about abuse to women. Okay? I needed to make that point before I move on. Now, while you are there in the funnies, doing all manner of pappy show, up to now you cannot tell us what to do. Philip J. Pierre is leading by example. So, Jacqueline, I think picture 1 and 2 go together, if you can. Picture 1, and a man like Jacqueline, I think you're in the creatives. I know you like your carnival. Jacqueline, you love your carnival. So picture 1 and 2 go together. Listen to this. This morning, man, I must confess, I have a very bad habit. When I wake up in the morning, I wake up very early. By 4 o'clock, I'm up. Because I go to exercise, and when I up, first thing I do, go and make some coffee, turn on the radio, listen to what's there, etc. Quiet meditation, and then I decide to, what's new? Leave that there, Jacqueline. This man, this is a happy man. You know why this man is happy? He's always smiling. He's not wasting the country's money. And then I turned on and I'm like, boom, breaking news. Yeah, that is what you call breaking news. This is what you call breaking news. Breaking news. That is breaking news. But I'm not the nonsense you're doing with Martinez and Rejoc. You understand? Not the nonsense you're doing with Martinez and Rejoc. Breaking news. Oh, correspondent banking gone. Maji. Oh, Rico suit. Maji. Breaking news. This, I don't know. I do not know where the Prime Minister gets his inspiration from. These days me dressing well. Well, no, not these days, but me dressing siak. Long time I hear that word, Siak, the man dressing siak. The man cool, the man laughing, the man happy. Because he says, I'm not wasting the country's money. He's finding a way to help us. And I got that this morning there. Breaking news, Prime Minister. The man already has the youth economy. But the creatives, and don't forget that during COVID, the creatives took a hit. All these fellas, who were the singers and so on, they couldn't perform. They had to find other things to do, to make ends meet, etc. They got it very hard. So I remember that well. I remember. But the Prime Minister, he went to bed, I think, maybe. And then, bright idea, he says, nah, man. There are so many young people, drummers. I looked at that boy on stage doing jazz. Jab du Plessis brought a saxophonist, I think from Soufre, young boy. I was blown away. A protege. I'm like, why? We have these young people, 16 years and up, who have, they're in the whether it is poetry, song, dance, you name it. And the Prime Minister has decided now to have the Creative Economic Grant Fund. Listen, it's a grant. Ça c'est l'argent que vous on pas pour payer, vous savez. You see, as the economy grows, that's a promise the Prime Minister made. He says, as things improve, I will be able to do more for you. And so things are improving. And as things improve, he is giving more and more of the pie to us, to the natives. I'm using that word deliberately. And so those children who, you want to publish a book perhaps, you have your poetry, you have written some songs and you want to get them, the creatives. Come on. So he went down there and he says, I must help those. Because if I don't help them, you know what's going to happen? They're going to get frustrated. They'll be on the block. And before you know it, instead of shooting goals and playing notes on the piano, on the guitar, or fingering off, they'll be shooting bullets. We don't want that. So the Prime Minister in his great mind decided he's going to create, he's going to put in addition to the youth economy, the Creative Economic Grant Fund. The Creative Economy Grant Fund. It will be distributed, I think, under the control of the Ministry of Tourism, because that's where the creatives are. That portfolio, that little department. So I don't have all the details, but I suspect the criteria will be put out and you'll be able to apply for your grant funding through the Ministry of Tourism. Of course, it is not l'argent you can just buy comme ça. You must have a little plan, and even if you are not able to write the plan, somebody will help you put the proposal together. And maybe the grant will get you your guitar and your amp, because you want to be another Bohingson. You want to be a little, McDonald Dixon or Robert Lee. You want to publish your books. You follow. Whatever it is. You want to go into dance. Like the Christy, I'm forgetting the name now. The creatives. That's an area that took a very hard hit, I know, during COVID. Some of them have recovered. They're making a lot of money now. Great, thank you. They're on the ships. They're performing, etc. But that area, we didn't look at it, and the Prime Minister now has come up. You think Shasta would have ever done that? This man don't think like us. He's not one of us. He doesn't think like us. He doesn't move with us. He doesn't understand us. So the Prime Minister now, he's not taking the money and giving to Lockerbie, He's not taking that money to give to Jack, to go on and sing at the opening of the racetrack, I have nothing against the people coming in here because they come for jazz and they get money back. All I'm saying is not wasting the money. He's not giving that away just so. He's spending that money on us because it's our money. Our money. You understand? There were people who thought that our money was for foreigners, friends. Our money is for us. It is to be spent on us. And so the creative, look, I heard the Minister of Education. School is opening, so from tomorrow, you'll be seeing children in their brand new uniforms. And one of the things when they go to school, when you see them coming back, they'll have a box with a Chromebook. They'll have the Chromebook. Nancy said the Chromebook empty. Nancy, took it in. You ever have a laptop or Chromebook that's empty? I vote again. Nancy the empty. The empty potato. So they're going to school and they'll be having the Chromebook. If the parents had to buy that, man, some would be able to afford, yes, but a lot would not have been able to afford. And one thing I did not like to see when as a headmaster, as a principal, like PE. If a class of 30, 20 students have the full PE uniform and the others in their old house clothes, I couldn't take that. That was bothering me. Because you see, at the time, you had to pay for that and some parents could not afford. So at one point, I just made the decision, bro, we have them there, let's get to the children, those who cannot afford. So everybody looked the same. So no child felt left out. You can do something to your self-esteem. For those of us who grew up poor and grew up, knowing where we didn't know where our next meal is coming from, we understand that. So you are par. So everybody else properly dressed with sneakers and PE uniform, and because you cannot afford, you have your old house clothes, your old pants and your old shirt, and that bothered me a lot. And at some point I made a decision, whether the child doesn't have, they have not paid, forget that, bite the bullet. And luckily, down the road, the Prime Minister decided to pay for facilities fees. So that covered everything. So children who, it didn't matter again. So even if we had the registration fee, and some parents could not still meet, I made sure that every child had a PE uniform, especially those who could not afford, because you have to look good. You know, these things it does something to your psyche and your self-image and your self-esteem. So we had to do that, man. And the Prime Minister has made that possible for schools to do that even more, because now they're getting lump sum, good sum, so they can afford to take care of the few students who are left behind. So no child must be left behind. No child must feel that they're an outsider and they don't belong and they cannot afford. You understand? Because it stays there long after they have left school. You understand? And if you're in a position to help the child, you have to do that. So Prime Minister, again on behalf, and listen to that, everybody got paid in September, in August salary, and that's not the end. Next month, teachers get another chunk of change. TMA kicking in, 1,000 for miss. I retired early, man. I retired early. You understand? So next month, they get those who were not getting paid in August, they got the August salary. Thank you, Mr. St. Peter. And then September is coming there. Hey, TMA. Oh, I almost use a word there, you know. Dr. Sherry. This troublesome fellow from Grizzly. You know, I'm not sure it's fit for television. But TMA in. So, as Mato said yesterday, a government that is working so smooth and doing things so nice and fast, you all want to take them out? You're against yourselves, man. Pensioners, you're against yourself. Teachers, you're against yourself. Civil servants, you're against yourself. Young people, in the creatives, you're against yourself. You could see that everything the Prime Minister is doing is putting you first. Because as social democrats, that's what we do. We believe we uphold democracy, but we understand that we have to ensure that everyone enjoys a piece of the pie. So as far as possible, once you see the economy can afford, as we grow the economy, and there is surplus, there is surplus, not that there's nothing to squander. He's not squandering. He's making sure that every citizen, he's touching the life, not just of every citizen, but every sector. And in a while, we're talking about employment and investment. Oh, man, the investor confidence is back. Because as I told you, we do not have any more bandits in suits. I understand in the last administration, there were some bandits, you know, telling investors to pass it. Before they could put a nail, pass it. Hold up in broad daylight. That is why we had no investment between 2016 to 2021. Because all our investors were there. They were shaking them down. Pass it. You had to pass it. You had to pass it before you could do business. Talk about the ease of doing business. Brother man, if you want the ease of doing business, you have to pass it. We're not taking any calls yet. The phone ringing, not yet. We have one or two things to do. You know, we're coming to the break in a while, in a few seconds. So, the creatives, great. Students, you're going to school from tomorrow, you'll see them, you know, the traffic will be a nightmare, but that's fine. They'll be in the uniforms, but they'll be getting the Chromebooks, the laptops. My granddaughter will be getting one, I have told us already. Thank God. And we're taking it from there. But, Shekwan, well, I don't have my Blue Waters, but we're taking the Blue Waters break now. And when we come back, I have one or two things again to say, and then we'll open the lines.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Prios Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosley.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Another hurricane season is upon us. Make this year different. Equip yourself with a backup power generator from JH Launchers Electric. We can source and supply any size, any type to your specifications. But the best part is we stock generators. No more long waiting and delays for your home unit. We proudly stock from 2,000 watts all the way to 26,000 watts gas and diesel generators. Automatic and manual transfer switches are also in stock. Visit JH Launchers Electrics today.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluffs. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Real issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning into and staying with The Real Issues, powered by Blue Waters with Terry Fenelon. I'm putting him first today, okay, because he started the program. Along with me, the supporting act, Shelton Daniel. Appreciate your remaining with him and giving him the support, albeit he's done a fantastic job, which commands you to listen. But as has happened to me a few times before, walking into the station, making sure that I have my devices, or so I thought, and then realizing I didn't leave them in the vehicle, left them home, which thankfully is not far away, making sure I take in our lunchtime news, looking at the charger, seeing them charging, in my mind's eye, really making, the plan that I'm going to pick them up, but only in my mind did it stay. I didn't actually. Great job, Terry, especially what you're talking about, the women. It's one thing to talk. And there's a lot of Jesus Christ and gospel talk. It's Jesus Christ who said, it is not what a man says, but what he does, which determines whether he's acting righteously, whether he's sincere, whether he's genuine. And he gave the story, about the two sons who the father assigned task, and one of them said, consider it done, daddy, no problem. I'm definitely going to do it, and he didn't move a muscle. He didn't drive a stroke, as we say. He never moved to get what he promised his father was as good as done. The other one said, hell no, I'm not going to do it, as we say, the guanumte, the mal obligeant kind of thing. But after he left his father, he turned his back, walked away. His conscience pricked him, and he went and he did the thing that he told his father, hell no, I'm not going to do it. And, Christ asked the question, which one of them was the better son? Which one of them was the good son? The one who went and who did it in spite of telling his father rudely that he was not going to do it. And, it's all right when you opportunistically come and you pretend that you're standing up for the dignity and the respect of women and so on. But when you are doing things which are exactly the opposite, which are inimical to the dignity of women. And some of the things we just need to watch is the people who do those things. Are there people who do them themselves? It's one thing when you have a march on St. Jude, which up to today we don't know what the heck that was about, marching on the St. Jude Hospital site. You remember that occasion where Joycelyn Fletcher told the people who the police was stopping, no, don't confront them. Don't get into any tangle with them. Just take their names, take their badge numbers, take pictures of them, and we will deal with them later. Yeah. Remember that occasion? And a whole lot of women, local women, St. Lucian women, black women, likely mothers, single mothers at that, they were made to ridicule themselves. They were made ridiculous spectacles of by wearing diapers, and big women out of shape. They've had babies and so on, in maybe not the best of economic situations. So their bodies are not the bodies of models and beauty queens and so on. And to have them wearing diapers, on them, that is people, who want to pappy show and ridicule and make a my way with our local people, our black people. And funny, they don't realize this is what is happening to them. When Shasne went to go and visit St. Jude Hospital, and he came out looking shell-shocked. I hesitate to say that, it's too close to Shelton, He came out looking absolutely shell-shocked, traumatized, when he realized the progress of those. Why didn't he go in a diaper? Why didn't he put a pamper on him and go in and come out and show people that this hospital is like a baby, a toddler, an infant in arrested development? It's not going. Why didn't he try to make some propaganda of it by wearing a pamper or something himself? He didn't. He was well and fully clothed. But it's our local women he making a pappy show of. People, let me tell you all something. And most of you probably know that. There is a Latin term that goes like this. It's called infra dignitatem, right? INFRA as in infrared, but without the red. And dignitatem, like if you're spelling dignity, but you drop the Y at the end and you put ATEM. So it becomes infra dignitatem. Most people shorten it to say infradig. You see, this thing is just too infradig for me. It's beneath my dignity, and so on. And if you find that Richard Frederick or anybody else in the government was debasing, was devaluing, was insulting, was denigrating the dignity of women, why is it that the best thing you could do is to put up, to set up, to send forward a woman to do something which is even more infradig to her character, to her reputation, to her standing with the law, to her self-respect, to the respect that she will get as a law-abiding citizen, as an honest person, as a person of integrity? You send her forward to try to frame a government minister with a false accusation. And not just a false accusation given for rhetorical effect in an interview with the media, It has actually been made official via a complaint to the police, a report to the complaint. Which one is more infradig? making reference to a woman having cancer and needing help to pay for chemo, etc., etc., or sending a woman forward and setting her up in an attempt to frame a government minister, or anybody for that matter, with something that is a criminal complaint that is actionable and punishable by law and under law to get the police involved in it. You know, you're concerned about the dignity of women, but whether in the diapers thing, you know, making fat, out of shape women with distended abdomens and breasts that show nursing of children and their economic status and maybe their metabolic leanings and so on. You know, a lot of us are ashamed of that. We black people, our noses are often broad, our lips are often thick, our hair is often short and croppy. We shouldn't be ashamed of that. But when somebody tries to make a my way and a pappy show of us on the one hand, and makes it even worse by setting up a woman to go and to engage in behavior that is criminal, which one of them is more infradig? Which one of them is more an assault on the dignity of women, which in the case of that woman who tried to frame Ernest Tilley, as in the case of those women who were made to wear ridiculous looking pampers on them when they're not bedridden, they don't have anything like that. Tell me, which one of them was more an assault? Which one of them more assailed their dignity? Which one of them, you know, basically debased and devalued them and was more infradig? So don't come and talk to people about standing up for the dignity of women and women being denigrated and so on as if you care, when nothing you have done demonstrates that you care about the dignity of St. Lucian women, especially the black ones, especially the underprivileged ones, especially the poor ones, especially those who don't look like Playboy or whatever Vogue models and so on, that you were doing that to them. Terry.
Oh yeah, Shelton. And I kept saying, Mr. Joseph, there was a reason why, you know, she stuck in my head. Actually, the vile and vulgar remarks were directed at Lisa Chawa here, our candidate for Southeast Castries. But don't worry. This is not the last of it. We will come back because, you know, like they said, we'll circle back. Because these guys, they don't see a path to victory. They cannot tackle us on any policy initiative. They have nothing to offer except somebody just told me, stop referring to it as Sunday funnies, because what's happening there is just total disrespect to the intelligence of the average solution. And Mato yesterday told you so. You know, you believe that this guy is just a guy around the place there, but his intellect is sharp. He's able to tell you, boy, when he looks at this government, they're working so fine, so fast, they're doing so much, and people want to come and talk about ring the bell. The church bell's ringing every day, so don't worry about that. We cool. As we back on something there, I want to play something. Video 5, a young lady. Because you know the flubbers always come with the misinformation that they're doing nothing. So let's listen a few seconds. The young lady.
Being selected as a mentee is a valuable opportunity to lay the right foundation for my business and being guided by someone who has already navigated the path that I am stepping into. For many of us, entrepreneurship is really uncharted territory. We're often the first in our families or circle of friends to pursue this kind of dream, and we're literally just figuring things out as we go with lots of trials and errors. That's why programs like this one is so essential. As Olivia from YEA mentioned, this initiative is here to help us move from vision to execution to build businesses that are not only successful but sustainable. Correct.
You see, the flubbers want us to believe that the youth economy, we just throwing money aside. No, listen to the testimony of the young people. You know, they get the grants, you know, they provide the plan. Excuse me. It's approved. They get the loan and the grant, but they are not left on their own. There are workshops, there are follow-up sessions. You know, we teach them. I'm saying we, although I'm not in there, but we teach them. You understand? How to manage money, how to run a business. And this young lady, I don't know her. I've never met her. You have ever seen her before? I don't know her. Mm-hmm. She's part of the youth economy. She got a grant and she's saying, yes, it's been difficult sometimes because you're the first in your family to enter into entrepreneurship. It's not an easy thing, but the help, is help them to sustain the business. And who knows, in a few years, we might have millionaires coming out of this and then look back and thank the Prime Minister said Philip J. Pierre, because he had the vision to invest in our young people. And that is what we want. And I'm asking the Flabos, what is your answer to this? What proposals do you have? Yeah, I've heard the Badventis, I've heard of the Spider, and I've heard your lateral sessions. Up to now, I cannot hear what it is that you're going to implement. What policy initiatives are you going to present? So what it is? You know, you're going to go back on a Sunday again and do what? More Mapui? You're going to denigrate Jade Brown and Lisa Jawari again? That's what you're going to do? In other words, as Raisha says, you're going to be doing the same thing you pretend that you abhor. So he said, as Shelton correctly says, we are denigrating women. I don't know how we have done that. All I told you, Frederick just put the question. He's a lawyer. He knows how to put the question. And then you're so vile and vulgar. Even Auntie Emma. The fellas went after Auntie Emma.
They're going after everybody.
I mean, the kind of things I heard this fella say about Emma, Spider, despicable. But
you know why? Because they have no talking points.
No talking points.
You know?
I mean, the fellas insinuated all kinds of Auntie Emma. I mean, you guys have no shame. You have no boundaries, man. And then, Marcella, you're going to come and talk about people disrespecting women, and in your camp it was done on Sunday, and you have not yet denounced it? Let's play one video, because you see, investor confidence is back. Let's play video 2, and then Shelton, because I might blow a gasket. And I don't want to. Let's play video 2. Let's listen to our Prime Minister, and then we'll open the lines.
At Orange Grove, over 300 new jobs are going to be created.
Hundreds are expected to benefit from a boost in the job market as more established businesses look to expand and elevate their operations. During a pre-cabinet press briefing on Monday morning, Prime Minister Philip J. Pierre highlighted the upcoming increase in job offerings at KM2.
KM2, so they're expanding in St. Lucia at Orange Grove, and they're going to be adding approximately 300 new jobs. When the expansion is complete, there are going to be 1,000 new jobs created at KM2 in the new facility at Orange Grove. That is in addition to what they employ now. Now, you may recall that in my 25 to 26 address, I said that Orange Grove would have expanded, and that has come to light.
Prime Minister Pierre took a trip down memory lane, applauding the local pioneers with the vision and foresight to establish KM2.
I just want to give you a little history about KM2 Solutions and a little history of these operations. It was in 2004 when I was the Minister of Commerce. If you may recall, in 2004, I was the Minister of Commerce. KM2 began its first operations in St. Lucia under the name Helen IT. They operated from Union, and I want to compliment the people involved. That is Mr. Favre and his wife. They were the forerunners in that business, the first locals to get involved in that. I want to really compliment Mr. Favre and his deceased wife, Valerie Albert Favre. With the some assistance from the government, Helen IT was formed. First local to get directly involved. And then it mushroomed into KM2 in individuals. And it's been run by one of the leading BPO firms in the region.
On the economic front, Pierre pointed to other promising projects like the $20 million expansion of Baron Foods regional headquarters in Vieux-Fort, the Marquis Estate redevelopment by Isla, and the creation of condominiums by Harbour Club.
More jobs, more investment, more confidence in the solution economy. So you will see that both in services, in manufacturing, and in tourism, the economy is expanding. In services, the BPO, in manufacturing, Baron Foods, and in tourism, Harbour Club and Marquis Estates.
The island has been experiencing a state-backed incentivized construction boom with a myriad of capital works projects in the post-pandemic era, from both public and private investments. the landscape is being reshaped by platooning earth-moving equipment from the urbanized north to the rural south. Sola Alfred?
Some total unemployment guys zero. Isam say, Shelton. Total si bugla commence à hele you got by the figures are wrong. The figures are always wrong for them because they cannot. These fellas cannot stand good news, huh, Shelton?
They can't stand it.
Once you see good news in the country, say Buksa, you got Bazudi, they cannot stand good news. But the Prime Minister measured. Now there's something about Orange Grove he's not telling you, you know. Because don't forget, this man, after he did all the nonsense with Orange Grove, he signed us up to pay rent for 16 and a half years or something like that. I may have the half wrong. But for almost 16 or 17 years, well, more than 16 years, we have to be paying rent, $1 million a month. The Prime Minister is a smart guy. He didn't tear up the contract. He's an honest guy, upright guy. So what he did, I understand, is that he invited KM2 Solutions to move in so that he can help the taxpayers, so that we, the taxpayers, don't have to spend all that money in rent. You understand?
Right.
So instead of the government, well, our tax money going to all that rental, KM2 is picking up the slack. So we are getting some. You see, that is a man who thinks. He's not reckless or spontaneous, Bukfusa. He thinks, and he knows that he has this thing there. How can he ease the burden on the taxpayer with all that rent that's been paid? And so some compromise and some rapprochement, something was settled with KM2. So KM2 will be moving into the Orange Grove Plaza. Instead of us paying all that money in rent, KM2 will be paying part of that. So the taxpayers will get a break. You see brilliance? Titus, thank you. You see brilliance? So when Tommy, who was the architect of our downfall during COVID, speaks this nonsense about he being some kind of economist, I'll take care of you on Friday. You're some kind of economist. The Prime Minister, he doesn't boast, you know. All how I see, when he writes his name, I don't see him writing the letters he has behind his name, because that's vanity. That's everybody knows who he is. Like Margaret Thatcher, he says, I have to repeat that. If you have, being powerful is like being a lady. If you have to insist you are, you aren't. But we know who the Prime Minister is. Titus told us. He's a guy who is steady. Steady guy, measured. He thinks before he acts. You understand? What somebody said yesterday to Mary Polius? He cuts his cloth twice. No, he measures twice and he cuts once. You understand? Unlike Alan just cut and then he measuring. So, investor confidence is back and employment like jokes. So if the last figures were I think it went up to 10, that's the next time that released about 5, because so much construction and so much employment and so much investment in the country that Flabos, y'all be Bazudi there. So all y'all could do on Sunday, Martinez, Frederick.
They want Martinez again on Sunday?
Yeah, they're still there, still doing this thing, because they're still, now they're trying to backtrack and say, Martinez. They never join anybody in any fight against the country. You're not treasonous in your behavior.
Martinez was doing thing on his own.
Yes, yeah, he was on his own. You said you'll join the lawsuit against St. Lucia. Treasonous. I almost said bastards, but I'm not supposed to use that on TV, right, Shelton?
Bastards?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I can say.
That's very tame.
Treasonous bastards. And now you try to walk it back because it blew up in your face, or in your faces. You know, I can't say shit. There are a lot of things I can't say.
Let's leave that one out.
Leave one out. The thing hit the fan, blew up in your face. You understand? And now you're trying to walk it back. Oh, I never joined any foreigner against my country. Man, the pledge, I will defend my country with vigor and valor. You did not defend your country. You were happy to hitch your wagon to Martinez train to try to sink your country. You guys.
Not just Martinez. Together with Martinez, there was another guy called
Richok.
Yes.
Kokoloram. Grenson. Badventis. You'll have to pay for that, you know. Treason. We can't jail you yet. But we have, at the polls, we have to kick you all to the curb. Never to rise again. Ladies and gentlemen, this act of siding with a foreign power of foreigners to bring your country down. Supposed to turn your stomach, you know. You know the pledge? The last said, I will defend my country with vigor and valor. These fellas didn't do that. They didn't love the land. Well, some of them were not born here, so I understand. But when it was time to rise up, to defend my country, to defend us, sweet Helen, against that onslaught, they chose the side of treason. We must never forget, and we must never forgive. And you see, when we go to the polls, we have to do that with a vengeance, to stick it to them, to kick them out once and for all, to lance that carbuncle on our body politic, because that has turned my stomach. I can't stand that. You're treasonous in your behavior, and don't come and try to walk that back. We have the receipts, and we're going to play it. I think we could open the lines because, as I said, I don't want to blog.
It's a little close to. It's a little close.
Oh, very close. So let's continue. Let's continue.
No, we can take the break.
We can take the break now, and then
when we come back, we'll be spot on one.
On the calls, right? Okay.
Real Issues powered by Blue Waters. Don't go away because when we come back, it will be all about you. Phone lines will be open, and the messages as well. We'll be taking a look at them. So send them. Keep them coming.
That's right.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with big issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
McDowell's Supplements, an effective way to ensure you and your loved ones are getting the daily recommended intake of essential vitamins, minerals, and other important nutrients necessary for optimal health. Naturally, we carry an array of health and wellness supplements. McDowell's Immune Booster enhances your body's defense to fight colds and flu, boosts your immune system, prevents viruses and other airborne diseases. McDowell's Colon Cleanser prevents constipation, helps in removing toxins from the colon, detoxifies the body, and regulates your bowel movements. McDowell's Prostate Health prevent the enlargement of the prostate, improve urinary flow, and reduce frequent urination, especially at night. Moringa oleifera capsules are rich in minerals like calcium, potassium, zinc, magnesium, iron, and copper, vitamins like beta-carotene of vitamin A, vitamin B such as folic acid, vitamin C, D, and E. McDowell's Potassium Complex, used for treating and preventing low potassium levels, high blood pressure, preventing stroke, and aid in weight loss. McDowell's Triple Magnesium relaxes the muscles, relieves cramps and helps to control high blood pressure, improves sleep, and can calm the nerves. Magnesium is very important for the normal functioning of cells, nerves, muscles, bones, and the heart. McDowell's Ginger Turmeric helps to relieve pain, decrease nausea and enhance the immune function to help protect against illness and infection. Ginger turmeric has powerful anti-inflammatory properties and improves your circulation. Don't hold health back. Let health strike back. McDowell's, the better way to start your health. Visit Health Service Center, John Compton Highway, call 453-6417. Let your wellness be our stress.
It is well known that diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and other illnesses may restrict blood flow, which can lead to impotence and erectile dysfunction. This is why Enhance was formulated to meet these challenging health problems, which can reduce your ability to perform. If you're having problems maintaining your manhood, then reclaim your manhood today with Enhance. Enhance increases your energy level, boosts your stamina, and increases your endurance.
You can get your Enhance at Southwell VA4, Restorer Pharmacy Soufre, Knights Med Miku, Lay by Bar The Morn, Dexter's Place Jeremy Street Castries, Citygate Bar The City opposite the market, Plants Place Denry Highway, Arlette Supermarket Soufre, The Release Stress Bar Labrie Highway, Cool Joint Bar Victoria Schwazel, Prios Bus Stop 22, next to the Moshi Bus Stop opposite the Grosley Bus Stop. Bryos Bar and Grill in Corinth, Grosile.
Enhance, the best a man can get.
Another hurricane season is upon us. Make this year different. Equip yourself with a backup power generator from JH Launchers Electric. We can source and supply any size, any type to your specifications. But the best part is we stock generators. No more long waiting and delays for your home unit. We proudly stock from 2,000 watts all the way to 26,000 watts gas and diesel generators. Automatic and manual transfer switches are also in stock. Visit JH Launchers Electrics today.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff. Shelton Daniel is here to deal with the issues. Big issues. 12:30 p.m. to 2 p.m. Monday to Friday on Real FM.
Thank you everyone for staying with The Real Issues powered by Blue Waters on this Tuesday, August 26, 2025. With me, Shelton Daniel, alongside Terry Fenelon. The telephone lines are open now for your calls. The numbers, you can reach us on via WhatsApp. Call 758, the area code 487-9849. That's 487-9849. And also you can reach us on the landline 4533-911. We have our first caller already waiting. You're on the air, go ahead.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, hi.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Everybody. To Jaquan and all of you all. Good afternoon, good afternoon. I had to miss some of your preamble because there was some difficulty with the reception. You all must check on that, eh? Mm-hmm. Because I believe in my own mind, there's a thing there to really jump these issues because of the educational thing you all provided to the public. Okay, the service provider, I don't know his or her linkage to political parties and them things, but you all must check on that. But I think the little I could have gleaned from what was being said, I'm of the view, and I think a lot of people I speak to are of the view, that there's a play on the part of the opposition, the UWP, on the gullibility of St. Lucians to confuse the mind of voters. And I've been very clear on that. Mm-hmm. But what made me even clearer was when I listened to the partners this morning. I say in Yadi, but sometimes I forget the name of the program. He read an article in relation to Guyana, a Guyana newspaper, where essentially and in a nutshell it was saying that the opposition in Guyana, in the election that have to take place on the 1st of September, are actually using lies, distortions, and things to confuse the minds of people. Yeah. The implication they were saying that these things have is the, contaminating the democratic process. How people who are supposed to be going to the polls and things can make a clear decision based on democracy on the parties they favor when they are being imbued with lies and things. That, my brothers, that is a very dangerous thing. It's dangerous because what it was saying in the article applies directly to St. Lucia. And Yadi, I must compliment him. He said so. What we are faced with in St. Lucia is very clear, and you on your programs there have highlighted it. Gutter politics. And we said it before, the fellow who went in the gutter and was cleaning the gutter was a practical demonstration of the contamination of the political process by the lies of the UWP and things. So it's very clear. We made mention, I think you made mention, the woman which they set up. They virtually set up the woman in the parliament and things. Besides she was breaking the law, she was breaking the law. I think that my friend here, I don't speak to him very often. He should have really called the police immediately and to put that woman out. Maybe if they had done that, they would think of freedom of expression, but they were breaking the law. Now, gullible, let me think of the carnage of the 2 Saturdays, right? There was a clip where the leader of the opposition said that the perpetrators of crime are being paid. Let us draw a relation between that expression and the position and the postures of the opposition, cancelling or postponing what they had planned, the public meeting, although the police commissioner, acting police commissioner, came and said that irrespective of these activities, these meetings, the youth rally, the thing in the boulevard, they have put out their officers and personnel to position. But what they did, they cancelled it. The attack or alliance to the religious, maybe mostly Catholics, it was in the Babono thing, I think. To me, it's an attack to actually in the minds of religion and things like that. I'm very, very clear about that, and these are the issues. We believe that these issues and the postures of the UWP is a lack of response, and I believe you all have said it and you all are very clear about it. Lack of response to Philip J. Pierre, the St. Lucia Labour Party, and what they are. They have no alternative. When you talk of the arguments, the slur, the insults, I'm amazed about Spider. I had some respect for Spider, but I'm amazed when I listened to Spider last Sunday to the depth of the gutter that he would go down to Red XP. And these things are very important. Okay? I believe, as I've said, the course of action of the UWP and the opposition in whatever election when the bell is called is to confuse the minds of people, the gullible. And that I believe it is dangerous. It is dangerous to our democracy. As I've said before, the decision of people have to be clear, based on truth, practicality, and what is happening. So when you confuse the minds of people on lies, what you're doing to our democracy, I don't know. But I believe, my brothers, there is hope. The hope I believe there is when I listened yesterday to the, I don't know his name, but he seems to be a very acquaintance of Philina. And that guy, the guy understands, he's listening to those who have ears to listen or to hear. Let them hear. The fella understand the issues and what is happening there. Okay? So there's hope. When I listen to the fella there from Viewport South, Danny Butcher, oh man, that man was a rose, man. That man was a rose. In the means he put himself on the platform. Just compare Danny Butcher and the woman who going on the thing to really read the thing, read what she's saying, or I believe he's on the radio. Just compare the two, man. Viewport South people have to be educated with respect to the position of that man there going forward and these issues. I think basically voters generally in St. Lucia, my brothers, need to learn to distill between the lies of the UWP, the postures and the gutter politics, vis-a-vis the practical approach and achievements of the SLP. I think I'm very clear on that. I wish people can listen to this. We talk of the recklessness, and I see they postpone the recklessness on this thing. The recklessness, my brother, DSH, Desert Star Holdings, that was a reflection and example of the recklessness of Shasney and them kind of things that come in power. Right? I didn't expand on it too much yesterday, but what it does, it was really marginalizing people that were involved in agriculture. And this is what it did. And if people were thinking, traditionally, the approach that St. Lucia had taken and the policy approach of St. Lucia in many different things really resulted in the marginalization of the productive base of the economy. The youth, the farmers, women. That was what what DSH sought to do was to further marginalize. So if the partner was not reckless, you would have taken time to consider the proposal which he took up from the files or the drawers of after the SLP left. He would have, if he was sensed in that matter or advised by some of the economists I see who portraying and things, was a fella, Tom Descartes and them fellas there, he ought to have actually consulted the immediate people who would have been affected. And these are the issues. So people have to learn as far as these issues concerned going forward. But as I said, I believe there is hope. Let us put the information out, get them educated, and I'm confident we will do what we have to do. Thank you very much for always tolerating me.
Yes, thank you. Welcome.
All right, we have another call on the line. Real Issues.
Hello?
Hey, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you so much for taking my call. I do believe that respect is not about gender. Because I am a female, it does not give me the right to insult somebody and do not expect a response. I listened today to a pastor saying that he is waiting for UWP to come back into power so that he could open a soup kitchen so that the women cannot sell their bodies into prostitution or have men touch their children. And I was like, this is the same man who was just talking about women, men insulting women, or SLP men insulting women. But yet you could say so about women. And the first soup kitchen that he is proposing to do is in Dennery. So I would like to know where he get that information that Dennery women that sell their bodies for food or whatever. This is the height of insult to not only to women but to everybody in St. Lucia. You all cannot be doing this. They cannot be doing this. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot. 487-9849 and 453-3911, the numbers to dial. We're taking your calls. You can also send WhatsApp messages, all right? Send the messages by going to the following two websites. One of them is realfmofficial.com and the other one mbcslu.com. All right, you can go there and you will see the links. Click on them and you can type the WhatsApp messages. They'll come to us direct on our WhatsApp on-air messaging board in real time. We have another call on the line. You're on the air.
Shelton, a very good afternoon to you, Terry. The same.
All right. Good day, sir.
You all saw the smile of the Prime Minister, gentlemen, when he launched that that creative assistance, to the people that want to pursue careers, man.
Yeah, man.
You all saw that smile. That smile is a genuine smile, That smile is a smile with a man with a big heart. That smile is a smile of love, compassion, empathy, reaching out, empowering young people, empowering groups, organizations, dancers, singers, people with talent. That is the opportunity to go out and pursue help, to make sure you all can be successful in the field of endeavors that you all want to pursue, That is a master stroke from the Prime Minister. That's my first point. My second point is I want to kind of, expound briefly on what my colleague said yesterday, his contribution, Felix Fontenelle Tricky, when he said that Chasney was born in Martinique, and Chasney being the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, and St. Lucia was owing Martinique, and Chasney did nothing. He did absolutely nothing to assist in paying the medical bills, So if Chasney doesn't want to honor a country where he was born, you think it's St. Lucians he will show love and affection for? Chasney only have one thing at the back of his mind, and that is to run this country. That is the only objective, the only goal that he have. But he will never, by the grace of God, he will never be given another chance. If we do that, Alan Chasney will continue to crush and destroy our country. Now, I am not an economist, but I want someone to call to explain that debt to GDP of 102% for us, to make us know where we came from, to make us know the danger that Philip J. Pierre rescued us from. Thank you very much, Shelton. Have a good day.
All right, thanks. You as well. We have another call on the line. Real Issues. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Shelton.
Hi, good afternoon to you.
Wrong person. Good afternoon, Perry.
Hi, good afternoon.
You were there first, so I have to greet you first. I apologize for greeting Shelton
You are
before
forgiven.
you.
You speaking for me, Terry? You speaking for me to tell her that she is forgiven?
All right,
Anyway,
I take that back.
Anyway, go ahead.
Shelton, I just want to make a correction to what Gasper said. He said that Alan Chasney has one goal, and that is to run this country. He is correct, except he left out one word. Chasney has one goal, which is to run this country broke. He did it before, and when he comes back, if he comes back ever, he's going to run it broken. Because everybody who is anybody will pay. Meanwhile, I sat and I listened to the men of the United Workers side who sought to defend women, yet denigrating other women by virtue of them being on the other side. And the saddest part, the very women who sought or who were standing outside of Parliament on Tuesday, 8 days ago today, they were applauding.
Yeah.
I also watched Guy Joseph or listened to Guy Joseph say he's not a criminal. Sorry, no. He said there are no criminals in the United Workers' Party. Who was the person who said, Makape pou fe queen. The money pou fe queen, not the queen women. Who said that? Not me. Okay? The person who was named in an alleged kidnapping was not on the Labour Party side. But Shelton, Terry, the point I really want
Shelton,
to make
Terry, only pour confuse you, lang, only pour my way. Go ahead. Go ahead. I holding that grudge in my craw, even if when you're making a good point. But go ahead.
Anyway, Shelton, pa we alize, we know this Shelton. Tout ça c'est bougla ka dia, comme si de fire jagger ka vini full circle. Fire jagger ka vini full circle. Parce que tout ça yo ka acquise l'autre side la pou fè. C'est à sous side yo e japet. Et nous ka gade pou se moun sa la mene yo sur gouvernement. Nous ka gade pour faire rush on Minister of Grass Cutting. Pour faire Tommy Descat a Minister of Gutter Industries. Et pour faire King la Minister of Grading Areas for football.
Comment King la?
Mais c'est ça y est, King Kaka.
There's only one king in St. Lucia politics. Do not, even as a joke, place him in any category that leads to a devaluation of the currency that he has, of the standing that he has by ascribing it to anybody else. Use another thing. Use count, use baron, use something like that, but don't use king. There's only one king in St. Lucia politics right now.
And it's Stevenson.
Don't conflate or confuse or mix him up or synthesize him with anybody else. Certainly not the people from what Terry calls that side. Yes.
Okay, point taken. I'll be working on another name.
All right. Thank you very much.
Abhorrent behavior. Anyhow, bye-bye.
Bye. No, Tiffy. I'm no grudge against you.
I understand. Goodbye.
I'll deal the case with you separately. Real Issues powered by Blue Waters, 487-9849. WhatsApp, call us on that number. And the landline, 4533-911. We have someone else waiting.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Good afternoon. You're on the air.
I am having the time of my life. How are you, gentlemen?
Oh, doing great.
Okay, so I am from the constituency of Beaufort South. And I am putting a pin, and I would like anybody to prove me wrong. At this time, there's a fire at the dump in Beaufort, the landfill. right? Some of those persons who criticize Dr. Anthony, Philippe, J.P.A., Musa Jabatis, Alva, you name it, even Jeremiah Norbert in the North, are they seeking any assistance to help with the rescue team from the fire service and other entities dealing with that? That's point number one. You with me?
Yes.
So if you know, maybe you can reach me. You probably will see my number. Let me know. But as far as I know, they are not concerned about that. So I'm now going to DSH. I love horse racing. I don't gamble, but I love to see horse racing. I've been to Barbados. I've been to several countries where there are horse tracks. And I love to see horse racing, the adrenaline and all of that. If the United Workers' Party's leader was so concerned about development in Vieux-Fort, and correct me if I am wrong, the bypass road that was created, was that $27 million?
No, I think
something like
13 million.
Hello?
13 million, I understand.
13.
13.
1-3. So you spend $13 million to create a road off a horse track. Go to Barbados, see how close the horse track is to the highway in Barbados. Yet it brings no revenue to the constituency of Vieux-Fort, neither south or north join into the two. But compare that to what you wanted to do. How much development, how much 13 million would have done for the people in the constituency of Vieux-Fort South? And this is my question. So when somebody come and they want to stain Philippe J.P.A., they want to stain Kenny Anthony, even John Campton, which I respected a lot, because I knew Sir John personally, they have to understand those three persons in the name of John Campton, Kenny Anthony, and now the Right Honorable Philippe J.P.A. And I say Right Honorable because he's entitled to that title. And he's doing well. When he sits as the leader of this country to make a decision along with his cabinet members, before it is criticized, I would advise those persons to sit, digest it, gobble it, whatever they have to do, and understand Philippe J.P.A. is not in this political thing for recognition, nor a game. That I know for sure. So when we leave and we understand, and I heard the caller before me, I think I recognize her voice. One thing I am sure that will happen in the constituency of Vieux-Fort North, and you could mark it on the walls in the studio, Mr. Sheldon and the other gentleman. Go back and get the history of 1982 when Maury Thomas went up against Cicely, and you will understand what I'm speaking about. Before you want to get involved in politics in the constituency of Vieux-Fort North, Vieux-Fort South, Labrie, what we call the fishtail, you must ensure that you have a working relationship with the people, and don't just dump yourself and believe you come a king, queen, or whatever other name that is being used. You will be taught a lesson of a lifetime, and you just may have to go back to where you come from. This is my contribution.
All right, thank you very much. Okay, the time is racing towards 2 o'clock when we have to cut it off. We are taking calls until then. We have someone else on the line. Real Issues, you're on the air.
Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you.
Okay. All right. Yeah, getting straight to the point. Terry, I want to agree with you so much in your preamble. When I saw that from the Prime Minister, I'm saying, man, this man is just a genius. He just comes up with all these ideas, and I have so many friends, I'm telling you, that in that industry, the creative art industry, and they are struggling, since after COVID and all that. And for this man to come up with that, I mean, that's just so brilliant. And I believe the other leaders in the Caribbean will follow suit. It has been happening. I mean, and I'm saying to myself, you mean this man is doing so much, and some people have so much to say about that. I wonder if they're living in a different country, if they're living on Maria Island or something else. I mean, even Coco, God bless his soul, if Coco was there, even Coco would have seen what was happening. And they only can criticize and say all these negative things for a government that is working so much. I just want to big up PJP on that. I mean, that's a great, brilliant idea. It's only a genius that could have come up with this idea. Yes. And I have a poem about him. One of these days, I want to share it on the show. Okay. Have a great day,
So
gentlemen.
you'll be creative. Yes, thanks, Colin.
All right, thank you very much. We have another caller on the line. Hi, Real Issues.
Hi.
Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, Shelton, Terry.
Yes, buddy.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Gentlemen, I heard DeMarc. I think he was he was your first caller.
Yes.
He said something to the effect that Alan Shastney, during his tenure, trampled with the DSH venture or program. He trampled on the efforts of farmers to take care of themselves and their families. But that shouldn't surprise anybody, gentlemen. You know why? Because Alan Shastney had made it clear in an interview with Janika Simon, and I'm sure you guys can remember that. It was a very long interview, more than an hour. He had made it clear that farming in St. Lucia is next to worthless. He had made that clear. He said that everything must be about tourism. Tourism is the savior of everything and for everybody. The very same Alan Shastney, who had been considered a tourism guru, remember that?
Yeah.
In 2006, when the United Workers' Party under Sir John Compton won, and John Compton made him tourism minister because he had been considered a tourism guru. The same man who had been considered a tourism guru and who was saying to Janika Simon, everything must go through tourism because agriculture is useless, worthless, meaningless. When he became tourism minister, what did he do? One of the first things he did was he employed the services of Jim Heppel to run tourism in St. Lucia for close to $40,000 a month for Jim Heppel to do the job that he had been brought through the Senate to do. When you look at Alan Shastney is a colossal failure on all fronts. On all fronts, a colossal failure, a huge failure on all fronts. And this is the man who wants to return to lead St. Lucia again, as Cornelia said, to make St. Lucia not just a broke country, but a broken country. I urge all St. Lucians, the well-meaning St. Lucians, not to allow that to happen ever again. Thanks, gentlemen.
All right, thank you very much. The UWP is now a dead party. Yes, they have followers, but their platform rhetoric, led by their leaders, and horrendously, just stop me when it comes, if the lotto comes on. Their women has hit horrendous depths. Lies, misinformation, insults, great disrespect. They offer this country absolutely nothing. Only unthinking, non-analytical persons can support these people and their reckless leaders. Many of their traditional supporters who remember the halcyon days of Sir John will either not vote or vote SLP. 70 not is not unimaginable. As a thinking St. Lucian, a Labour supporter, I am ashamed and embarrassed. Labour platforms bring policy, respect, truth, clean icons, vision for St. Lucia. Lisa, Shania, or Shanda, that should be. Shanda. Danny, alongside the veterans and independents. AP, that's it. Thank you very much for that message. All right, well, on August 31st, there will be an event in Miku South, and it is really the opening of the Miku South constituency office of Dr. Shanda Haraksing. Here to serve Miku South constituency, August 31st, that's a Sunday, or Sunday coming. SLP Haraksing for Miku South, you are all invited. Blessing and grand opening of office at 2 p.m. Grand welcome motorcade at 3 p.m. And they say miss it and blame yourself. So that's the real issues for today, Tuesday, the 26th of August. Thank you so very much for being part of it. All things equal, God willing, we'll do that again same time tomorrow from 12:30 to 2 p.m. Till then, for the real issues powered by Blue Waters, Shelton Daniel signing out.
Double Daily Grand, 10, 18, 19, 20. Big 4, 7569. Big 4 Multi-X FP. Pick 2, 8-4. Pick 2 Multi-X FP. 1 off 841. Lucky 3, 304. Lucky 3 Multi-X 3X.
The man, the voice. Your hero is back. Raw facts, no fluff.